Oh my god, it's finally out! Oh boy, I really hope it runs better than the last one.
No.
Well, at least it has less bugs. Oh, what about...
Now that's a supply drop.
God damn it! If I'm gonna talk about this game, I want to start off by talking about its prequel. The Evil Within may have ran about as well as the average neckbeard, and looked about as good too. But if there's one thing it had going for it, it was style. It was rich in atmosphere, with numerous memorable locations, like the decrepit village, the catacombish areas, and Ruvik's mansion. The Evil Within 2, on the other hand, has a dainty town going for it. It does have some great but short-lived segments where you traverse unique areas, like this torture dungeon, or I don't remember any others. It has this underground facility that's real neat though. Its cramped corridors and sharp-angled design give off an imposing appearance, but you'll eventually find yourself right back at this boring fucking village. The town's design lends itself to the more open-world-esque gameplay. However, it ends up compromising on setting up a truly memorable and horror-oriented atmosphere that really gets to you. The story this time around is more cut and dry, and is significantly easier to keep up with when compared to its predecessor. Hell, my sister could follow along. Hey, what the fuck? The cutscene direction is fantastic too, with well-picked camera angles and cuts to make the events playing out all the more dramatic. And a huge kudos to Tango Gameworks for these action sequences. This makes itself most evident during the final chapter, but I'll leave that for the end of this video. The gameplay sees some new additions, such as requiring weapon parts to upgrade your arsenal, with the best upgrades requiring high-grade weapon parts to gain access to them. A similar system is introduced to your character's skill tree that gates off the highest tier of upgrades with red gel, while regular upgrades require green gel. Some of these upgrades are extremely broken, some for better and some for worse. The introduction of the character upgrade system itself is pretty cool. We see the return of Tatiana the nurse, her miraculous upgrade chair, and a morgue of goodies. Where is wind coming inside a fucking morgue? By the way, the shooting still sucks ass. Get the fucking hit! The bullets are literally going right fucking through them! The enemy design feels like it's taken 2 steps forward and then proceeded to slip and plant its face firmly into the drywall. The regular mob enemies are a huge step up from the previous game, and are significantly more terrifying when encountered. On the flip side, most of the bosses lack that sense of I'm going to royally fuck your shit up that the first game's bosses had. Don't get me wrong, I find Seaman Monsters about as terrifying a concept as the next guy, but an Italian man in a suit just doesn't quite do it for me. They're all great, but only one of them comes close to the combination of daunting, claustrophobic environment paired with Laura or discount Pyramid Head, which is why they decided to bring them back in a boss rush towards the end. Oh sweet Jesus, Mary and Joseph, please no! Coming to the big bads of the story, and this is where it just falls apart. At the very start, you're introduced to Stefano, the lad from the trailers with a bone of a modern art. He's portrayed as someone capable of controlling the virtual world this game takes place in, like some bootleg Neo that was repainted and given a new accent so they could avoid a copyright. And you really grow to despise this guy for a number of reasons, not least of which is his taste in classical music. So you have this guy you think may well be the final boss, just itching to kill him. And you do kill him. Halfway through the game.
One last photo.
Selfie! And then your supposedly dead wife shows up like she's fresh out of a whorehouse and whisks your daughter away to protect her. You're then introduced to Father Theodore, the silver-tongued resident cult leader.
You must learn that I am here to help.
As you're encircling me in flames, who you also kill shortly after, and then you run into your wife again, who you proceed to mercilessly gun down not more than 20 minutes later. Are you seeing a trend here? I can't point to any one of them and say, this guy was the biggest bad of the big bads. If anything, in my opinion, I believe that honor goes to Miss Saw-Armed Mangle here. I'm sorry, who was that? What? I mean... Jason! Oh, what now? Oh my fucking god! She's stupidly tough and shows up on numerous occasions to just fuck your shit up. Or hell, even Nikon here makes a better candidate. Alright, it's just you and me, leg. No, fuck you. Mate, fuck yourself! I worked hard for this shit! Truth be told, even Chainsaw Bitch is only the second most terrifying thing in the game. The first, of course, would be its optimization. All kidding aside, if you've played through the game yourself, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Discount Ju-on here is a manifestation of Sebastian's guilt, trauma, and fear, from that one time he accidentally let someone die. She shows up as you're traversing the world every now and then. However, there are specific anima events that can be triggered as you're exploring. When these occur, you get pulled back into the familiar cozy embrace of Beacon Mental Hospital. Remember what I said about the first game's locations being memorable? I instantly recognized the area I was first pulled in as the place where you encountered multiple invisible enemies in the first game. And these Beacon segments are damned beautiful. Not only are they visually impressive, the level design from the first game makes a return too. And let me tell you, being stuck in a segmented area of a mental hospital with a poltergeist that looks like the Grudge and Laura had a love child is abso-fucking-lutely horrifying. Please don't look over, please don't look over, please don't look over, please don't look over. I love it. Each of these segments are completely devoid of combat and hence see you navigating the environment to avoid and escape the spirit. After your final encounter with her, you unlock Sebastian's OG revolver. And this thing is absolutely worth the trauma. It can take care of lava dudes in just 2 headshots. 2! I'll now be talking about the end of the game, and I'll be completely spoiling it. So if you don't want that messed up for you, if you have not played this and you are even slightly considering playing it, just skip to the time mentioned here. Or if you're some kind of savage that is gonna play it and doesn't give a shit about spoilers, you know what? Be my guest.
Are ya ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
Great. So the final act involves walking up Mount Everest for some fucking reason, after which you shoot down a massive seaman monster. Wait, that's the wrong one. Yeah, so you do that and wow, look at that, it's your waifu. She says some shit like, go on, I'll be right with you. And I'm all, Jesus woman, you're not the only one out of breath. So you're done climbing, you enter your old house, which is somehow there because this whole world is a dream. Shut up, I'm not explaining that. You pick your daughter up and you're ready to get the fuck out. But wait, wife says she needs to stay behind so she can destroy this nightmare world and prevent a secret organization from using it to take over the human race. Trust me guys, I know it sounds like bullshit, but they explain this in the first chapter, alright? Now you're about to leave through the front door and suddenly transition. That was smooth as shit, did you fucking see that? You gun down some organization members like it's Gears of War playing as Kidman, who's been watching over your character in the real world this whole time. And when you're done, boom, transition. The world is crumbling and you're coming down the mountain when she comes. Just listen to this. Seriously. Try and tell me this isn't fucking impressive. The cutscene, the score, it's all building up to this climax and it feels intense. You're trying to make it back to the real world as operatives are trying to break down the door to where your IRL body is. And you feel genuinely concerned because someone may actually die and hot damn, this is one of the best ending sequences I've seen in a while. Phew! That has gotta be the weakest sounding phew I've ever done. I think that covers up most of what I have to say about this game. If I had to assign it an arbitrary number rating, it'd be a 7.8. Mind you, on my subjective scale, that is a good game. Just not a great one. I recommend this game to anyone who even slightly enjoyed the first one. There's just so much here to be had. If I hadn't played the first game before diving into this, I'd be looking at it a lot more negatively. If you're looking for a survival horror game, this is still a solid choice. I played it on Nightmare my first time around, which is the hard difficulty here, and every single fight I got through felt like I genuinely survived. Took me about 16 hours for that playthrough, and I beat every single side mission as well as all the anima events, so take that into account. Without them, I think you're looking at around 12 hours of game. If you're really looking for a challenge, note that beating it once unlocks Classic Mode, which is essentially Nightmare, but you're not allowed to upgrade anything. Fun times. If you're just looking for a fun game to pass time, there are honestly better options out there. If Joseph was in this game, it'd probably be a Game of the Year contender for me. Shame. 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 Shame.